I've been watching college football for a long time, basically my whole life since I was 8 years old, and we're not going to tell you exactly how long that's been. But this is the best defensive front I have ever seen in college football. There is really no debate. It is the most dominant when you look at the play on the field against the opponents that Alabama is dominating and has dominated now for specifically the last two seasons. Leonard Fournette and LSU gains 35 yards rushing. Alabama defeats LSU 10-0. The Alabama defensive front for a second consecutive year against what many consider, me included, the best running back in college football. I think Dalvin Cook's awfully close, and Christian McCaffrey in a different way rivals Fournette. But in terms of lining up a dominant running back in an I formation or a single set now in the backfield, Fournette's just as good as anybody around. And he can't do anything. Last year, 19 carries, 31 yards, had an 18-yarder when the game did not matter. He only one time last year made the second level of the defense on 19 carries, only made it to the linebacker level once. And once the statistics and the metrics are measured out, I believe that the same thing happened tonight. He probably made it to the second level once. I can think of one run in the second half in which he almost broke it for a decent gainer, but Hamilton broke off, shedded his block, and made a tremendous play in the hole to limit the damage to 5 yards. This Alabama front is amazing. We've talked about them all season, and what else can we say? The only thing they didn't do tonight that they typically do is take away the football and score points themselves. This was the first game in FBS football this year that went into the fourth quarter with no score. So I'm going to credit the LSU defense. I didn't realize that the Tigers were this good on defense. Did I realize that they were this talented? Yes, I did. As we talked about in our preview and prediction of this game, the top five talent, this LSU talent's right there with what we've seen in the recruiting classes of Ohio State, Florida State, and even Alabama. Top five talent every year coming to LSU, and that's seen more than anywhere on the defensive side. The only reason they gave up points is they wore down. The LSU offense did nothing in this game. So Jamal Adams gets the interception, one of the best safeties in the country for LSU, and they've got it set up the first drive of the game at the Alabama 33. So you have to do something offensively, knowing that it's going to be difficult to score points. You have to call maybe a bootleg pass, something misdirection, something that you get a matchup that you like to get that one first down that you need to kick the field goal. Instead, LSU misses the field goal. And looking at the scoring drives throughout the rest of the game, they had a 37-yard drive and a 40-yard drive. Unfortunately, they were deep in their own end, so those drives only got them out to midfield. Other than that, LSU did nothing. 125 yards of total offense. Danny Etling is not a dynamic quarterback. He needs the running game. He needs the support of the offensive line and the wide receivers. He's not going to be able to run from an Alabama defensive front. Maybe nobody can outside of Deshaun Watson and what we saw in the national championship game last season. Etling went 11 of 24 for 92 yards. Alabama did show more offense than LSU, but most of that, again, created late in the game when LSU was just worn out. Jalen Hurts, probably the difference in the game, made some dynamic plays with his legs in particular late in the game on the 190-yard drive that proved to be the difference. Jalen Hurts, 20 carries for 114 yards. The freshman continues to just do an outstanding job. And no, not a huge night for Alabama offensively. They did get 105 yards rushing out of Damian Harris and Bo Scarborough. And we mentioned Hurts with 114 yards, so they started to move the chains. They did move the ball somewhat consistently compared to the LSU offense, but finally broke through late in the fourth quarter. But LSU had to capitalize on that play. The LSU offensive line, they talked about it all week. And think about how good Alabama is on the defensive side of the ball up front. Check an NFL roster in 3 to 4 years, and I guarantee that 3 of the 5 offensive linemen playing for LSU, Ethan Posich, being the number one candidate, will be on NFL rosters in 3 to 4 years. There's no question. Maybe all five of them. And they could not move that front at all, could do nothing with that front. We mentioned the numbers with Fournette, 17 carries for 35 yards, similar to last year's production or lack thereof. The offensive line was questioned all week about trying to generate offense this year versus what happened last year, and they made all the right statements. They said, hey, it's on us. We're hungry this year. We need to make something happen. We believe that it's a better matchup for this year. Guys like KJ Malone and Will Clapp as well, coming back from last season's 14-point loss in Tuscaloosa, but LSU just not good enough on offense to do anything. The defense is remarkable. I believe after watching it play Alabama tonight that it's a top 5 defense in college football. Along with some other ones we've talked about for much of the season. Alabama takes on Mississippi State. Of course, the Bulldogs showed us something in taking on Texas A&M and winning that game in Starkville over the previously 4th-ranked team. LSU goes to Arkansas, and the Tigers really good under Ed Orgeron, but Alabama in a different class. And until Clemson, Ohio State, somebody, Michigan, shows us otherwise in the college football playoff, this is the best team in the country. Alabama 10 and LSU nothing. Would like to hear from you. Who can possibly challenge the Tide right here on Mark Rogers TV?